is the largest city in the Northern Territory in Australia. Its picture-perfect coastline and untouched wildlife draws people from all corners of the earth, and once every 2 years, it plays host to something very big. Just a few kilometers from the heart of the city, Darwin, the Royal Australian Air Force Base has become playground for these birds of prey from around the world. Lined up along the endless tarmac and unforgiving heat, these Republic of Singapore Air Force F-15SG and F-16CD fighter aircraft are being prepared for an air battle. They're part of the 2,300 personnel and 100 aircraft from 7 countries, taking part in one of the largest air combat exercises here. Named after the moonless nights in the sparsely populated region, exercise PitchBlack has grown in scale and complexity since 1990. For the first time, France and the United Arab Emirates joined Australia, Singapore, Thailand, the United States and New Zealand for the 21-day exercise. The RSAF team, comprising some 300 strong men and women, including pilots and their flying machines, will pit against some of the best in the world in a challenging and realistic training environment.
PitchBlack is a air combat exercise, predominantly air-to-air and air-to-ground, where the Blue Forces, predominantly out of Darwin, are trying to attack targets down in the Delamere, Bradshaw areas of the Northern Territory, and they're defended by the Red Forces, which are predominantly operating out of Tyndall Air Force Base. And they meet in the middle and hone their skills. So it's very much a training activity for large-scale air combat.
These F-15SG fighters are ready for flight. For some of these pilots, the scale of the exercise is something they've never experienced, especially when operating alongside many different aircraft.
This is only my first time operating in PitchBlack 1.4, and operating an area of operations with 30-40 aircraft at one time serves as a challenge because we are fighting against so many more aircraft than I'm usually used to in Singapore South China Sea airspace. So it takes a while for me to get used to it and build up my situation awareness in the air.
At the same time, they had to get used to one another's accent and use the same lingo.
Even though we are all fighter aircraft, but there are certain differences, nuances in the way we operate. And so with the differences, we need to be able to match each other's capabilities to come up with the best game plan to achieve the objectives.
F-15s are providing us with the air-to-air, like protecting us while we go into the strike, which is pretty good. And it's been really good to work with those guys and see what they do and what they can bring to the fight. And then and integrating with those guys, you know, like they're pretty fast with the big engines there.
The F-16s are another formidable bird of prey that is fast and nimble. The training airspace, some 20 times the size of Singapore, allows the F-16 team to flex its muscles and test the limits of man and machine.
We can always employ the full altitude we're given in the airspace, so we can employ our munitions with targets, with our initial points and lead-in features for us to acquire the targets. And these are very useful for us as pilots to hone our skills.
It looks like a Ferrari with wings. The G550 airborne early warning aircraft is the eyes and ears for the fighters. For NS-man ME2 Heng Wee Boo, the exercise has been an emotional journey. He was one of the pioneers who went through the G550 intensive training when the RSAF acquired the aircraft some 5 years ago.
I have a kid. It's something like looking at your child taking their first step itself. I think that's a very great feeling and accomplishment. You see that every time the aircraft that you take off, you do have a part of it. Yeah, and it's coming back safely. Yeah, you're actually part of that mission. You're actually part of that.
No two metals meet in mid-air. If it does happen, it's either a collision or the work of one of these. The RSAF's KC-135 air-to-air refueling tanker plays a crucial role in keeping our fighters in the air for longer periods of time.
The tankers, the KC-135, we do get airborne and we tank with them, so that will give us additional endurance to be able to hold in the air for a much longer time.
While providing a realistic high-end air combat training for the aircrew, PitchBlack has also over the years built and cemented professional and personal friendships along the way. As the sun sets, the high tempo of operations kicks up another notch. Through the night, the operation is relentless. There is no let-up as the roaring afterburners light up the pitch-black skies. A powerful symbol of strength and friendship.
It's really pleasing how well we fit in together. That interoperability, as we call it. We have a common aim and we understand it's a great common language and a great common thinking. So it's a really enduring thing that builds those bonds between countries.